Today I thought I'd talk a bit about some of my lighting philosophy. Some of the stuff I've came up with, some of the stuff I've borrowed from other people, but it seems to be working pretty well. I put it into practice and I can definitely see a difference. Believe it or not, lighting can affect people's mood. It can draw people to or away from certain areas depending on how you use it. In my last gig log, I had these really cool columns in this old ballroom right on the dance floor. Now I wasn't planning on uplighting the room, but I thought, well, I'll uplight the columns and they'll become kind of part of the dance floor wash because they're right on the dance floor. Now the way this wedding was structured was as soon as I announced the bride and groom into the room, they wanted to do their first dance. Immediately following was dinner. After dinner was dancing. So I used these two par cans on these big columns in 3 different ways. The first way I used them was with the wedding colors, which were burgundy. Now burgundy was a contrasting color from anything else in the room because the rest of the room was kind of gold and beige, so burgundy really popped. I left the burgundy on during the first dance. Now as soon as the first dance was over, I changed the color of the lights from burgundy to amber. Now amber blended more with the rest of the room. So although I still had the columns lit to make them beautiful, I really didn't draw a lot of attention to them. Now after dinner, when dancing started, I put them on a chase, which definitely, again, drew attention to the dance floor. So these 2 par cans served several different purposes. They drew attention to the dance floor when I wanted it, and they were more subtle when I didn't really need attention on the dance floor. They also created a wash, all kinds of cool stuff. Here's another thing. When you are uplighting something like a head table, it's very important to create focal point, and a lot of people don't understand that. I'm going to show you some examples of tables that I have uplit. Here you go. Here's example number 1. Here's example number 2. And here's example number 3. Number 2 is the most functional, and let me explain why. If you look at 1 and 3, there's no focal point. Yeah, the colors look cool, but I'm not really focused on anything in particular. Number 2, notice I'm using an odd number of lights. There's only 3 green lights. Now with an odd number of fixtures, you end up with a light dead in the middle. Whether it be 3, 5, 7, it doesn't matter. Now where is your eye drawn? To the middle. There's a light there. What else is in the middle? The bride and groom. That's exactly where your focal point should be. Now when we're using lights like this, we double as lighting designers, and we might as well do it with a little bit of philosophy. And this is some of mine. If you have a client that says something to you like, yeah, I'd like 8 uplights, or I'd like 12 uplights in a room, ask the client, well, why did you pick that number? Well, I don't know, it just sounded like a good number. You as the lighting designer need to decide what's really best for that space and what's going to create the focal point you need. Here's a quick uplighting job I did a couple of weeks ago. I used a blue, and I also used this green with a whole bunch of amber in it. It kind of matched the wedding color they had. The blue's cool, but I really focus on that green, and I was able to completely blow up an accent wall on this green. And your eye was really drawn to it. That was the cake table. That's where the client wanted the focus to be, and that's where it was. So think about where you're placing your lights in your room. Think about how to create focal points. Odd numbers of lights is a great way to do it because you're going to look right in the middle. If you've got 4 things, where are you going to look? You're going to look side to side. If you got 3 things, 1, 2, 3, you're going to look at the thing right in the middle. So there's a little philosophy for you. If you want more videos like this, let me know and I'll do them for you. Practice and enjoy.